What's up guys, it's Amanda here and welcome back to my art channel. Today's video is going to be the third theme in the Artstravaganza collective. If you guys don't know what that is, that was sort of a collaboration started by the JMI creations here on YouTube. It includes artists such as JMI, myself, LINDOODLEZ, NYRELLE, and Edward Suo. All just amazing, stupidly talented young artists. If you don't already know who they are, you have to check them out. All their stuff is in the description bar, same as before. If you want to check out the other two themes that we've done for Artstravaganza so far as well, I will have those links down there too. And there's only 2 themes left after this one. I'm so sad. I'm gonna be so sad when Artstravaganza is over. But for this theme, we did a redraw challenge, which is basically where you redraw an old piece or a piece that you didn't like and you recreate it in your current style. So I'm going to put up a quick picture of the original image that I am redrawing. This is a piece I created in the earlier part of 2009, so that's over 7 years old. Take a good hard long look at it because I'm going to be referencing this piece a lot when I'm discussing the certain changes that I made to my piece and why. So now back to the current picture. The first thing that I really wanted to change was the layout of the piece. I just felt like the horizontal layout didn't really suit this piece. There was a lot of really strong vertical lines. And on a horizontal layout, everything looked too cramped. Plus, it left a whole part of the page completely empty. So, by flipping the paper vertically, I was able to fit a lot more of the character that I was redrawing in frame, and I was able to add in some other elements as well, and nothing looked too empty. So, that was one of the main things that I was really happy that I changed. Probably the next biggest thing was the door. In the original piece, the door makes no sense, and it's almost funny to me now because I'm able to look at it and see that. Back then, I didn't notice at all. In the original piece, the door is flat, the door is floating in space. The door appears to be glass, although nothing is reflecting behind it, which is weird because there's like flowers around the door and you can't see the flowers. So to me that was just odd. So in the redesign, I decided to not only put the door at an angle and reverse the direction of the door so it looks like she's opening the door or attempting, about to walk through the door. It just makes a little bit more sense when you look at the picture. I put a little bit of perspective on it, and I kept the same glass panels. I kept the same design for the door because that's kind of an ode to the original. But only in this piece, I made sure that you could see what was behind the door. So for instance, I have all of these hollyhock flowers behind her, and some of those flowers creep into the glass windows in the door, and you can kind of see those. So that was kind of a little fun element that I wanted to add because now the door makes sense. You don't really see where the door leads, but that's not important. Probably the next big thing was her skirt or her dress. In the original, the dress is very stiff. It's very like triangular. There's not a whole lot of like flow to it, and I wanted to change that a little bit. I actually had a lot of fun coloring the skirt. I think it looks gorgeous. I love all the colors that I added and the shading. I think it looks really nice. And I had a lot of fun shading the drapery, so that was better. I changed the corset a little bit, but honestly not that much. And then pretty much the only other thing that I really changed, aside from just my artistic style evolving as it does, is adding in a background. this is something that I try and do all the time in my artwork now, because I was so afraid of backgrounds for the longest time, and now I actually kind of enjoy doing backgrounds. They're a challenge, but they're a fun challenge. So for this piece, I kept it pretty simple for the most part. The hollyhock bushes were a little complex, but I tried to keep it pretty simple. One of the other things that I should note about this piece is that the original was lined in a 003 Copic multi-liner, which if you've ever used one of those, it's so tiny. So in the original, the lines are barely even visible. And I kind of liked that, so when I redid the piece, I actually didn't ink it. I just outlined it in a brown Prismacolor pencil, so the lines are really soft. They're very understated. They don't really show up in the piece at all. So that was something that I really enjoyed. And when I did the hollyhocks, I actually didn't draw in every leaf. So I just kind of added those in with marker freehand, which I think looks really cool. It gives it kind of a neat look. I definitely do want to draw more flowers in my work because they're something that I want to improve on. And then for the rest of the background, aside from the hollyhocks, I did a white brick wall behind her, which I did with some warm grays. And then I did kind of these flagstone, cobblestone kind of steps, which I just really liked that warm brown color, and I think it added it placed her in the setting really well, so I enjoyed that a lot. I think that the piece that I decided to redraw was actually one of the better pieces that I created in 2009. 2009 was a very active year for me art-wise. I drew a lot. Some pieces were pretty good, like this one, and some were not so good. I think one of the strongest things about this piece is that the pose was actually pretty okay in the original. It was a little stiff, but the proportions weren't bad, and even though I've improved on my proportions since then, that is something that I do think really stands out to me in the original. As far as my style changing, I definitely draw my eyes differently. That's the biggest thing I noticed. When I first started drawing back in 2009, I was very heavily influenced by anime and manga artists, and when I show you some close-ups at the end of the video and you can see a little bit better a close-up of the original, you can see how anime influenced the eyes were. And that's definitely something that I've kind of done away with, which, you know, it's just kind of personal preference for me. I kind of found my own style a little bit, and even now my style is continuing to change. Especially in this picture, I noticed that the eyes are smaller than I would normally draw them. Previously, my artwork has been known for having really big eyes with lots of detail. And I've noticed that in some of my recent pieces, I haven't really been doing that as much. And I miss drawing big eyes, but at the same time, I really kind of like the direction that my style is going in. So pretty much the moral of this video, and the moral of any redraw challenge, is just to accept change. Accept that your style as an artist is always evolving, and that's okay. And one of the coolest things in the entire world is to be able to look back at your artwork from years past and compare it to where you are now, because it's so surreal, and that growth is what will continue to motivate you to work harder and learn and improve. So if you haven't done a redraw challenge, I highly recommend it. And just don't forget to check out all of the other artists in the collective. You will not be sorry. I personally love and adore each of their art styles. Even before I was part of this collective, getting to work with these artists is such an honor and a privilege, and I know you'll enjoy their work as much as I do. So again, all their links are in the description for your convenience. You have absolutely no excuse not to check them out. It's so easy, just a couple clicks away from some amazing artwork. And here is a look at my final piece and a close-up comparison of the old versus the new. Yeah, I think I've improved. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week with some brand new videos. Bye!